Hello and welcome to Free Excel tutorial videos. For today's video, I will show you how you can use the database function with an Excel table. So some of the database functions are like DSUM, DAVERAGE, and so on. So when you're using a Excel table, you are probably using filtering. So it can be an auto filter or the advanced filter, which I've showed you in my previous video. So let's say that I have this database over here and my manager comes in and he wants to quickly get a total of amount for the invoices for a particular customer, say A services. Okay, so we might think, okay, we can easily come here and use the filter, and what we do is we select the filter and we select A services and click OK. But then alright, what the manager actually want is the total. So of course we can come down here and calculate and auto sum for us to get the total, but it will be a problem if, say, the manager wants to get a total from all the different customers. Okay, so this is where the DSUM, the database function, will come in very handy. Okay, so how am I going to get the total for A services? So we're going to use the DSUM function to do this. Okay, so let me show you how. So I've removed the filter from the order criteria from the table, and now we have the original data back. So let's do the, and I want to have this A service, Control C, and I want to paste it here, Control V. Okay, so this, and let's do the DSUM function over here. So let's type DSUM tab to function autocomplete, and I want to use the keyboard shortcut Control A to bring up the function arguments. So beforehand I have already created the name range for the invoices, okay, which is all the cells over here for the whole database. And when you're working with a database function, we have three function arguments, and it's the same for all the database function like DCOUNT, DAVERAGE, and DSUM. So if you learn how to do DSUM, you will learn how to do DAVERAGE, DCOUNT at the same time. So for the database, it's going to be the name range for the invoice. So I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut F3 to bring up the name ranges, and I'm going to select the name range. Okay, the name range is the entire data range that I have here. So the field is going to be the invoiced amount. Okay, next is the criteria. So for the criteria, when you are doing a database function similar to what you learn how to do when you are using an advanced filter, is to create a criteria range. So when I'm selecting the criteria, I want to make sure that I select the label as well. So we want to select the label as well as the criteria. Okay, and now we click OK. So there you go, we have the total amount of invoice for customer A services. So let's put in the dollar and remove the decimal points. Okay, so what if my manager comes and tell me again, okay, you know what, I only want to see the invoices that are more than $1,000. Okay, so no problem, we can do that. So before we do so, we just add in a criteria over here, more than 1,000. Okay, so once again we go here, that equals DSUM tab is Control A, function autocomplete. So the database will be, once again, the name range for the invoice. The field this time, instead of clicking on the cell, you can put in a number. Okay, the number is 4. Okay, why? Because invoice amount is in the fourth column. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's in the fourth column, so we put 4. You can either click or use this method. Okay, either one will be very easy. And for the criteria, we are going to expand our selection. Okay, what we want is we want the customer A services, but we also want the criteria to be more than $1,000 for the invoice amount. Okay, so let's click OK, and there you go. We have the information that is for the amount of invoice that is more than $1,000. So what about more than $2,000? So if we change it over here, we will get the criteria over here. DSUM, let's do the formula again, equals DSUM tab Control A database F3 invoice. Field will be the invoiced amount and the criteria will be this one. Okay, click OK. So maybe I have to put the dollar sign. Okay, okay, so we have the result is the same, because for the amount for amount that is more than 2,000 for the A services, we have the same. Okay, so let's try to verify it. Let's come over here, select A services, and the amount that is more than 2,000 and the amount that is more than 1,000 is the same. Okay, so let's remove the filter and see what if we change this to less than 1,000. Okay, now you will see that the DSUM will give us a different result. Okay, so that is how you can use the DSUM function. And now what if the manager comes in and say, okay, look, I want the total amount of invoice for, instead of A, the customer A services, I want now for the customer B computing. Okay, so we can just remove this, and now we come over here, copy B computing and paste it up over here. Okay, and once again we come here, the amount has already changed, okay, to 2,568. Okay, so let's try to verify this. Go to B computing, and if we sum this up, it's 2,586. Okay, so the answer is correct. So now let's take a look at how you can use the average. Okay, say that the manager wants to find the average amount for the invoices for all the customers, so regardless of the customers, I want to find the average for the entire invoice. Okay, so now we do not want to have a criteria, we do not want to choose a specific customer, and we also do not need a specific amount. So let's come over here and type equals the average tab to function autocomplete, and Control A to select the arguments. So the database will be once again the invoice. Okay, the field will be the amount, invoiced amount, and the criteria will be invoiced amount and the cell below. Okay, so click OK, and the amount is 1,868. So let's verify that. So if I select all the cells here, I get average here of 1867.64. okay, very close to 1868. So that is how we get the average for all the customers by using the DAVERAGE function. Okay. So the database function is very handy when you need to do some calculations on an Excel table without using a filter, or when you want to do the calculation. Okay, so that's it for this video. I will see you in the next video.